we should begin in a second. I'll just pick up my rubbish here, sorry. Hello, everyone. Thank you for putting up with Axl Rose on repeat for about 10 times. I'll stop that right now. I am here. Jason is kind of, we'll reveal our relationship as the presentation goes on. I don't want to peek too soon. But this is about curiosity. This is about firecracker questions, making more memorable moments. But you're probably wondering, what does that actually mean, Jon? So I hope that at the end of my 44 now minutes that I'm allowed to be with you, you will be more curious. I already know which one of you are the curious ones and which one of you are the greedy ones. Because I did a little social experiment. And you guys, I even got Ian to like be recording you while you sat there and compared sweets hidden in the napkins. You guys are amazing. But we're going to be more curious, like you already are. We're going to ask better questions at the end of it, and believe it or not, for your brands that you work with or brand Microsoft, you're going to be able to tell better stories. And because I get bored, I wanted to come up with a third title as well. And the third title is "Put Yourself into Your Job, Have Fun, and Games." In fact, Jason and I have a bit of a rock and roll relationship, but that song, "Welcome to the Jungle," the only reason I like it is for this bit. Let me try that again. Jason's rock and roll, I'm all about, and repeat it. Do you think we can actually have fun and games for your job? Are you allowed to have fun at your work? Oh my God, that's amazing, because I totally had you pegged for like the naysayer, like I'm not gonna like anything you do. Okay, thank you. Buckle up. I know you were greedy and just wanted sweets, but we're gonna have a little talk, just you and me, for 44 minutes. Who cares if anyone else is in the room? So, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about curiosity and telling better stories. That's just a little bit of whatever, a bit of who I am. We'll get to that later. You don't have to like me just yet. So. But what you do have to do is you have to, if I like am wandering around and you literally feel like you might have something to say, I want Sharknado rules to apply. I'm getting some nods about what that means because you all know what Sharknado rules are. So, someone sat in they were a Hollywood producer, right? And they sat in a chair, it probably swiveled, and they were probably petting a cat. And they said, someone came up to him, I'm thinking a junior kind of executive, and said, I got this idea. We're gonna have a tornado, and then we're gonna have a bunch of sharks coming out of it. What do you think about that for a major Hollywood blockbuster series? And the executive said, absolutely. If Sharknado can become on its what? For bonus points, how many Sharknadoes have there been? You guys obviously haven't seen the 6th. It's coming out soon. I'm so excited. Amazing that my Team Greedy knew it more than Team Curious. Incredible. So, yeah. I want you to be willing to say anything. If you want to throw something at me, throw something, but I want this to be interactive if possible. Sharknado rules apply. Whatever you come up with is not going to be as bad as Sharknado. So, some of you don't like doing this, a lot of you in fact, but I do have stuff for you to win. And I fed you, you know? And Jason beered you and wined and fricking dined you on crisps. So I want you to, at least if I say one decent thing or one rude thing, I want at least 5 pictures, and that's a low bar from today. How curious are you? 1, 2. And every time I do this, people are like, I don't know. So I've decided I'm not going to go 1 to 100, because that's going to put you on the spot. I already know how greedy you are. How are you from squirrel to owl? Would you self-identify as a curious squirrel or a curious owl? Let me talk to Team Squirrel for a second. Were all the seats left on the side that had more sweets, or why did you sit here? Like, literally, there were not enough sweets on your side. Do you like squirrels? You just wanted to be on the front row. You just wanted to be on the front row. I like it. Attention hound. Love it. So Attention people are like Kim Kardashian. They're squirrels. Some of you guys are more of the wise, and we're going to get into the two types of curiosity, and I love them because they have fancy names, and I don't still know what they mean. But we're going to get to them. I would love for you guys to have a little inkling of looking at things differently after my talk. I love the fact that I can't look a beef jerky in the eye without thinking that is just a meat raisin. And some of these also will just change your view of things. You know, you never really think about one having 2,000 of something, really, but that's what you have with a curry. So this is the reason we're going to be giving away one of these books. I'm going to try to explain about it in a little while. It's a kind of thinking that helps you be more curious and get brands to stop doing horrible things but be relevant to their customer. Yeah? That's what this book's about. This book is about a conference I'm bribing Jason to speak at that he doesn't even know about. It's my conference, the Fast Forward Files in Venice. So I'm going to, in a nutshell, if you would allow me to stop talking about myself, could I cover the book in 3 slides and get on to the good stuff? Is that okay? Sorry, I won't remember audience of 1. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, perfect, thanks. So I've already given you a clue. What World Cup did Germany beat another country 7-1?
Oh, it was one before last.
Yeah, but what country was that in?
What country was it?
Yeah.
Brazil.
Yeah. It was humiliating. There was a Tumblr called brazilscrying.tumblr.com. I was devastated. I could not watch it. Honestly, it was like, this is the host nation. They almost invented the beautiful game. And the Germans, how many Germans do we have in the room before I say anything else? Nina, are you German? No, okay. This is what happened. During the match, I think Germany was winning 6-1 at the time. A German radio station put this bit of what I would call newsjacking content, because that was the name of my book. Let it sink in. Oh my God, that is devastation. I freaked out. No word of a lie, Jason Miller. I could not believe the creativity of that during the match for that to happen. It's literally just us beating the heck out of some of these wine glasses. We could probably do that later on if you want to destroy something. So go for it. If something topical comes up, go for it. Now, Jason and I are going to a rock and roll gig. You can tell how rock and roll I am because I call it a rock and roll gig. And the guitarist from David Bowie is going to be featured there tonight, Deadland Ritual and a couple other bands. Unfortunately, you know what brands started doing when they found out they could get on Twitter and that they could react in real time and try to hijack or newsjack what you and I, like quote unquote normal people were doing? They started creating really crass bad ideas, and it became celebrity deathjacking. Imagine it. I'm just going to do a little quick perusal of fashion and lack thereof. Does anybody have any Crocs on? You know those holy shoes that you wear in the garden and should never wear out? Okay. Croc made a David Bowie death edition to celebrate his death, and it didn't go down too well. Believe it or not. So that's the worst. Now this is the worster, or the more worse. This is because I love football, as you can tell. I work in sport and travel a lot. This was good intentions. This was a big brand like, remember the word like, a big brand like Microsoft. Not Microsoft, a big brand like them. They said, I've got your interest at heart. I'm going to keep you dry as you drown your sorrows going from pub to pub with England losing yet another World Cup. I need one person, and I've got a prize for you. I need one person to tell me one design flaw with the wearable cape. Yes.
Ku Klux Klan.
What? Say that again?
Ku Klux Klan.
Okay. What is your name again? Nick. You win the, I know you're thinking most obvious ever, but a lot of people don't get that. So we'll get a photo afterwards. And you're eligible for the big prize. Sorry. Here's Asda's problem. What do you think Asda did? Again, conference of one. They said, it's your dirty mind. We were just trying to keep you dry. It's your dirty mind. They defended their actions. I want us to tell better stories and be honest when we balls it the frick up. So they did not do that. They were not brave. Essentially, they weren't ballsy. I plied my trade. When I first met Jason, I was plying my trade basically on balls. And still to this day, I still ply my trade on balls. And they will be useful at some point, but leave them be until you have the right moment. But truth be told, these are a voting mechanism. It's not just for stupidity. Is the content you create for Microsoft brave? Is it taking a risk? Is it going to cut through the noise? Is it actionable, getting your people to actually do something? Does it make you like the brand? Is it something you'll remember for more than like a minute? Does it have like a Hollywood ending that's unexpected, unlike sharks and tornadoes? And is it based on the customer? I have to be honest, Jason cheated. Jason gave me this like PDF of like your relaunch, and it was about people first. It was about targeting doesn't need to seem kind of invasive. It should be serendipity-led. And it made me kind of do little mini fist pumps like that. So I feel that you are bringing Microsoft into the land of being more ballsy. And I want us to see if that holds true. And now, again, a little interlude. My previous career, all in 3 slides in the language of fried chicken. This is a balls up. Here we go. I was going to a pub, and I was getting peckish, and I stopped in, and I looked at KFC, and they'd run out of C. And I freaked out. How can KFC run out of C? Does anybody know? Does anybody remember this? It blew my mind, but unfortunately I wasn't ballsy at the time because I wanted beer. I wanted to drink more. So I didn't do anything about it. Wyden & Kennedy, an ad agency, did something about it. In fact, the very next morning, which is newsjacking in real time as you frickin' get-ish, they put this out. Simple letter change. I don't have to talk you through that. We're sorry. Amazing, so honest, so real. And the emotion I felt, well, there's a couple emotions I felt. I'm going to get to see what emotion you're feeling about this. But this is my final in my chicken interlude. I am a nervous traveler. When I go to America, I'm afraid I'm going to run into Americans. So, and the thing is, I often, when I stop in Atlanta, I look for either Chick-fil-A or Popeye's Louisiana fried chicken. They know their audience. In the airport in southern cities, they have emotional support chicken. If you're coming from London and you run into an American, you may indeed need some emotional support. This made me bubble up with joy. It really did. And I want you to, the fact that I just gave away the answer is brilliant. Which of these emotions do you think is most hardest to achieve? Be honest, squirrels. Be honest, greedies. Owls. Laughter, indeed. Others? Joy. And who said joy? Nick. Teacher's pet. Yes. I may have given it away accidentally because that's called you listening. Thank you for that. I think joy is tough. I think awe is really tough. And guess what? Someone 10 to 15 times smarter than me has done the research on curiosity and said the 2 emotions most tied to curiosity are a tag team, knockdown, drag out, WWF battle of joy and awe mixed together. And I would say, how much content have you seen from a brand in the last week, month, year that had a tag team of joy and awe? Yeah, exactly. Not much. It does not get any more joyful than this. I'm not going to ask for volunteers just yet. Oh, I got to press.
Oh, yeah.
There doesn't get much more joy than this. I'm going to do my best to emulate this. This is pure joy. Watch, she's going to dig for gold in a second. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. And it's a GIF, which means it repeats. So I'm gonna stop. Thank you for holding my beer. She was feeling something coursing through her veins, and that's joy. I want some of the emotions you feel, believe it or not, even for the work you do, to have joy, and I think we've got to unpack curiosity to even get there. Like, if curiosity is joy and awe mixed in a tag team, like, let's start at the beginning about what a curiosity gap is. So I knew that I was coming to Microsoft. I knew I loved Jason Miller, like bromance style love, yep. I did not know you at all. I was worried about you. So I wanted to know what you were like. I had massive curiosity. Jason, I love Jason. Jason's great. He's amazing. The people I'm going to speak to don't have a clue. Nina seems great. Oh my God, she's just like sorting me out. But that's just Nina. That's only two of you. There's a huge gap. Finally, I knew who you were before you even opened your mouth. Before you even sat down, I could see you kind of looking at the sweets and thinking, what a ripoff. I'm going over there. So I know you now just by your pure greed. Okay, so these are the fancy words. Diversive curiosity is my favoritist in the world, because if you can't tell by my presentation style, I'm a squirrel. It's the restless desire for the new and the next. It's dangerous. It's fun. It can really, really, really hurt if you take it too far. But you can also have these massive, massive joyful celebrations if you don't take it like a Kardashian. So I want us to find ways to be more squirrel-like, but I know a lot of you, I'm afraid to open my eyes because I know a lot of you are thinking, there is nothing squirrel-like about Microsoft at all. You just don't understand. You can't just be impulsive, Jon. You need to be a grown-up. So I take that abuse. Curiosity or clickbait. One person tell me, for bonus points, I'm going to steal some sweets from this side again, what is happening in this woman's pants? I'm just going to sit on some sweets until someone answers. Does anybody know? This is clickbait. This is not curiosity. So think of, like, worst case scenario. Do you know what's happening in this woman's pants? Please. Oh my God, Nick, you're amazing. I think I know you from a former life. Yeah, she's having a baby. Not that hard. Do you think that that is the appropriate way to say she's having a baby?
No, I don't.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. There are a lot of brands in the world of social media when this newsjacking thingamajig was coming out that were just clicking. They were clickbaiting. And it actually made you think, don't like that. And a lot of brands, Jason, you know this, a lot of brands just shut off their real time because they were like, we're just going to end up being a spam machine. I think we can actually be human and be curious and be more squirrel-like without going as far as clickbait. And I'm going to prove it to you if you'll allow me to. So the other type is literally you guys. It's the owl kind of curiosity. Because even though you guys are like sweets, I know that you guys, there's a little more depth to you. There's a quest for knowledge and understanding. I would say you guys are more passionately curious, but here, kicker squirrels, sorry. Careful, that's a little typo. Carefully observational. I would say that's less like a squirrel. It's kind of the careful bit, if you get that. Playfully imaginative, I'll give both sides that. In a courtroom, I would give both of you that. But I would say you guys are all three types of curiosity, if that's fair. I think we've got to use both, and I'm going to prove through a series of firecracker questions how, believe it or not, we can use both types of curiosity. Okay? Or am I allowed to go on and continue?
Yes.
Cool. Oh my God, this is the world's most curious man. I'm almost crying. Does anybody recognize him? Oh my God, Nick, you just know me. Were you at my last presentation?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's Leonardo.
You think it's Leonardo da Vinci. I now have a double act partner for my talk. What, Nick, in front of your peers, do you think this is a drawing of? Stumped her.
Yeah, that I don't know.
She does, but she's just trying to play it cool. That's cool. That is a woodpecker's tongue. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how many times can a woodpecker wrap his tongue around his or her head? Who said twice? That is literally one away from correct. 3 times. 3 times. How many of you, when you're drunk, have a trick similar? Probably none of you. But Da Vinci, Nick, I'm sorry, but Da Vinci thought about stuff like that. Da Vinci made all these major goals in the world of science and anatomy, which might be the same thing, but he was amazing. And he thought like a woodpecker. He was like, oh God. He, believe it or not, had squirrel and he had owl. And he would just vacillate between the two, just kind of rotating like that. And I think some of his more surprising discoveries, believe it or not, were Team Squirrel. He made some mind-blowing, careful observations, guys. He is the captain of curiosity, and thankfully, I come here today to celebrate him. He's not going to pop from behind the screen, but he's dead for 500 years. Did you guys know that we're celebrating his death of 500 years ago? Yeah, this whole year, in fact, I think coming up in November is his actual death, 500 years. And again, think like a woodpecker. What does that mean, John? You're literally mixing your owl and animal metaphors, and it's really doing my head in. Okay. A woodpecker just keeps pecking. It keeps on pecking. I actually think to make achievements in marketing and to get and keep attention, it's hard. And you have to be consistent. You have to be like a woodpecker. Just keep going, keep pecking, keep pecking. And you know, some of you may not feel like you have a secret weapon. Your tongue is not 3 foot long. But you got to keep going. Here we go. Because I know for a fact, even though a lot of you aren't clickbaity type of people, I know when my man here said 2, because it was very close, I know that you were thinking, I'd like to see that tongue. I know for it. I saw it in your eyes. Click it for me. Just click it that way. That is it! Oh my God! Oh my God. How incredible is that? Da Vinci was so freaking messed up because he spent a lot of time, as much time as he spent on the human anatomy, he spent on the woodpecker's tongue. I promise you that. Yeah, this is what he's known for. If Nick, to be fair, if you and I, because we're a double act now, had shown this, don't you think everyone would have gotten it? Yeah. So this is kind of, yeah, you knew that he has notebooks, like thousands of them. And the guy was captain of curiosity. Jason Miller, I stole this from his last presentation because I was going right after him, and I had this little riff about the 9-second attention span, and he said, in front of a stadium, which more like a theater, of our peers, said, you do know that there's no such thing as a 9-second attention span, and I was just deleting slides. Jason, that was true. I'm not lying to you. I was deleting slides because what he ended up telling us is that, John, can you stop talking, stop sweating, and just think a little bit about your life? Think about your wife who has to put up with you. You come home, your attention is like water. You can't control it, but someone needs to guide your attention, and I bet you anything your wife can guide your attention. How does she do it, Jason Miller? Or your spouse. Yeah, she does it by saying, shut up and let's. Actually, John, could you just focus on me for a second? Could you put your phone away? Because she thinks that I check my phone how many times a day? Because I'm like a freak. 800. You disrespect. Squirrels. How many times a day? Do you? Forget about me. It's not about me. It's about you. How many times do you check your phone?
100.
Thank you, because you're honest. And you're close. 150 is the average, and that's by NBC, whoever they are. New word alert, because it's about curiosity. For another sweet, this one's been melting in my hands, so I'll try a new one. Does anybody know what phubbing is? Please. Our friendship.
I feel like it's It's somewhere in here, but it's not.
Okay, it's not coming out. Okay. Fubbing is a new word for you all. Jason Miller?
No idea.
Oh, good. Gift clue. This is a gift clue. Fubbing. Could it be two words put together? Fubbing. Phone and? Phone and grubbing. Oh, I like that. That's frubbing, and that will happen tonight in a dark alley. But no. Oh, sorry, I just. I
said rubbing.
Oh, rubbing. Oh, rubbing. I think what you mean is snubbing. I think you mean phone and snubbing. Because look, I'm sorry to embarrass. 50% of couples are fubbing each other. They're basically, like my wife, she's like, can you just listen to me? Instead, I'm like, I got my phone here. She's like, you're fubbing me. You're phone snubbing me. This happens in 50% of couples. You may be the one saved from this. And again, this is an attention span thing, but there it is, written actually in English for you if you didn't understand my accent. And this is what happens. This is, even though Jason Miller claims we don't have 9-second attention spans, this is what happens in an internet New York minute. Are any of you worried about any of these, especially as brands? I am. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that tonight when we go to rock and roll. Like, how many people are going to be like finding, has anybody done something on Tinder today? Not even in the last minute. Not even the last minute, today. I'm seeing knowing looks and also kind of some side glances. So we're good. We'll talk later. If you combine technology with Tinder, it becomes messy. You guys are captaining artificial intelligence. Jason Miller is talking about it. His presentation in Montenegro blew my mind. I think we got to be careful with technology. It can mess things up. And while you guys are on this AI thing as a company, there is the most amazing exhibit that Jason's probably already been to at the Barbican, AI making you more human. Do you know about it? I want us all, well, I won't be invited back, but I want you guys all, Jason, you guys should go on a field trip. It's incredible. It's right now till August 26th, AI making you more human, ? And again, this is what happens when you're all in the technology and a brand comes up and tries to do something naughty. People freak out. They basically freak the frick out. I would say brands sometimes do this to people without realizing. They're immersed in their own world, talking to their own friends, and a brand kind of slams themselves in, and it can get messy because it's a lack of trust. But the story that Jason proved to me last year in Bournemouth was Jon, drop the 9-second slides because there's something out there, a technology that has a red logo. What can you binge for hours on, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. So this is where my wife finally got me to drop the phone. In fact, I am right now, except for Miller, because I love him, I am in the middle of we literally just found out that there is a show on right now that just dropped. And we wanted to watch all 6 episodes in one night, but I'm not going to go home tonight. Has anyone ever raced? Has anyone ever binge raced? They've watched an entire series in 24 hours. Yes. Our audience, I knew there was something. You thought I was going for Nick? I'm back. I'm back to my owl. Frickin' back. I love the fact that but I think this gives hope for brands. I mean, like, could we not be as engaging as Netflix? I think maybe with the next brief that you guys come across the old desk, could we apply some emotion and tell some stories that are the equivalent of a binge race? You know, I mean, my gut feel is that the binge racing countries are all like freaking cold. So we don't have that problem, but we do have a lot of rain. So, but those are the top binge racing countries, and this is my poison. I would rather, other than the fact that you guys have proved the curiosity gap worked, because I love Jason still, and I actually love you now, but I kind of would rather be watching Killing Eve right now. I'm on episode 4. Anyone else as far as me? How many? 5. No way. The racer. Do you mind coming and sitting front row? One binge racer. She wouldn't admit it. She's a racer. So, 2 top challenges. Creating trust in a world where people would rather be Netflixing. It's so hard for us to stand out. It's ridiculous, in fact. And, of course, engaging stories that have the B word in them. The brand. We like freaking Villanelle and Eve, because it's just like dark and the world's corrupt, and this is like corrupt and interesting as opposed to like corrupt and, I was going to say a dictator from a country, but that would be political. Anyway, this creative, engaging branding stories, more about brains than in budget. And that is what I'm excited about. I'm going to show you some things that took a lot of budget. I'm going to try to focus on ones that are kind of everyday that you're not going to freak out about because you're like, John, we're never going to get that signed. I just need some quick and easy wins here for me. This is the trust problem. I work with Edelman. They do this trust barometer-y thing, and they have proven to us that trust is going down and down and down in all sectors, not just yours. Also, brands and social, again, not trusted. You can see the little curve downward. And again, this, Jason Miller and I were in Montenegro, and a friend of ours popped this slide on, and this, like, it made me just kind of like a little bit sick inside. This is a like machine where you're in a Russian shopping mall where you can, let's say you're down in the dumps and you just had this amazing shot of you ziplining across the 2nd largest canyon in the world and no one cared. Like no one cared. Go to the machine, Jason. If your next big rock and roll gig tonight, if no one likes your photos, go to the machine, buy 1 million likes. It'll cost you 400 rubles or whatever the equivalent is. Anyway, can you believe that's real? Can you believe that's real? I bet some of you can. Yeah, it's real. You go buy some likes. You can even buy a like from whatever that platform is, Wakarantaki. No one cares in England, but I'm huge on Wakarantaki, so we're good. Kids, anyone, have them at home, not here. Nick, okay. Any in the sweet spot of 3 to 5? 6 and 8. 6 and 8. Only just 6? I'm going to take it. Your 6-year-old. Questions a day. How many?
40.
40.
Yeah.
Anyone have a younger child? Jason Miller. Oh my God, I know this. You were being quiet. Penny is how old?
She's 4.5.
Perfect. What about your little man?
He's 9.5 months.
Not good. He doesn't ask questions. Penny, how many?
I'd say a good day, 30, 40 an hour.
Exactly. Don't you think a little bit younger? Yeah. So the average is 73, but here's the thing. I don't think all questions asked are provocative questions, and they're definitely not firecracker questions. In fact, a lot of them annoy the hell out of you parents. I want us to define tonight, or this afternoon, what an important firecracker question is. This is an important question to some of us. Does anybody have an answer for this question? You got to commit. It's literally A or B. A? Ronaldo? Anyone from my squirrel side gonna back Messi? Nope. Okay, Nick will. Anyway, I can tell you don't care. I love that. This is a creative way, even if you don't care, which you don't, this is a creative way to answer it. And it also fights the problem of fag butts being on the ground. This is another creative way to answer that, a different question of, could you stop putting your fag butts on the ground and maybe even stop smoking? This is harsh, because I know some of you smoke statistically. It's an ashtray, but do you see the shape? That's harsh. That's a harsh answer. That's provocative. That makes me feel uncomfortable. That could be a step too far for Microsoft, metaphorically. Here's a firecracker question. What if you are a hotel chain that basically some chancer bought a crappy little 1960s apartment building in Hollywood and said, let's turn it into the #1 rated hotel in fricking LA? That is almost an impossible task, but they thought in a firecracker way, which I'm going to explain in a second, it actually means something. This is one example of applying, going into the head of a customer and saying, what do they really want, and how can we answer those questions in an original way? Anyone heard of the popsicle hotline? Well, if you haven't, this is what happens. You see a red phone, you're by the pool, you're like, what's this red phone about? Pick it up. All they say is orange, strawberry, grape. You're like, what? Orange, strawberry, grape. And you say, grape, silver tray, hands covered in white gloves. I think it's like a fancy thing. And they come and bring you a popsicle. This got talked about loads, but you're thinking, that might be a gimmick, Jon. It continues. Again, Magic Castle, number 2 now. Number 2, they've sunk. They've sunk to number 2 of the 357 hotels. They're a crappy hotel. They have nothing. But the reason they have talkability, they've come up with original answers to provocative questions, and they've snuck into people's psyche. They realize who they're talking to, because they're talking to people with young kids who were around when I was around, which is kind of like at the 1980s. So they have a freaking load of 1980s snacks they give away for free, and because kids mess things up. How many hotels have you been to where they're like, sorry, but we want to take all of your crap. We want to take all of your dirty laundry, just box it up, and we're going to do free laundry service. Look, these things get talked about as much as the popsicles. Again, I want to unpack the process that I think of and try to see if with this firecracker framework, can we potentially be the magic castle of whatever sector you want to be in. And if you will allow me to skip the rational. These are the questions that most content answer. These are kind of table stakes. You got to do these right. I want us to go into an emotional space where we're climbing into the heads and we're looking for these firecracker questions. What is that? What is a firecracker question? It's one that leads to a truth that everyone knows, but they're afraid to say. Let's figure out what that is. I would say it's one first that is provocative. It's a provocative question. I'm going to unpack that. It has an original answer, and I would say, if it's okay, because allow me to just talk on the emotional side, if you will. Because we're just talking emotion, I would say some of the most shareable stuff out there has an element of play, because believe it or not, all customers, even yours, are human. And that's why I love your people first thing. Because I would venture to say that you could even, because you're people first, you could even be playful. And you sure as heck can have a Hollywood surprise ending. Makes me so excited. Let's take this down. Let's start with a question that adds tension. Here we go. My wife. I keep talking about her. She's one day going to come to one of these talks. We were about to get married in 5 days' time. We went to IKEA together. Has anybody been to IKEA with a partner? Anyone? I see knowing nods. Are you guys still together? Yes. Okay. Thank you. There is hope. It is, but I would say a lot of people, this is a genuine thing that people, this search engine that Jason Miller's talked about a lot, it gathers up Bing and Google results. It's called Answer the Public, and I use it for fun. One of the top things typed into Bing and Google is IKEA, where relationships go to die. Let's prove it. Okay, here we go. Also, as a sub-category in a similar thing where couples go to fight, I found out my wife has bad taste. And I found out 5 days before we were married. Bad, maybe different. I could have been the one with bad taste if you really think about it. But I know you respect me enough. So this is an actual book. It's a book called Horror Store. And it's basically IKEA are allowing stuff to come out about their brand that are provocative and kind of insulting to their brand. And they've actually worked the layout of the store, to try to prevent people from fighting. They put meatballs in all the right places. So again, IKEA fully aware that this happens and are saying, if we're getting talked about, we want to be honest, we're going to let Horror Store happen. We're even going to try to prevent it. They're going to try to prevent it because some partners admit to their other partner that they're crap at putting things together. And IKEA realized that. They bought TaskRabbit for millions. All you have to do if you don't want to prove your ineptitude is get TaskRabbit to put it together. If you're Indian, I'm not about to be racist here. They've actually done the data. A load of people from a place called Hyderabad. Do you know that? Have you heard of that? Something like that? Anyway, Hyderabad, something. They just opened a store. They took 40 employees from their new store about to open, transplanted them into Sheffield, of all places, because the Sheffield store was opening, and they worked for a month. They came back to their place in India and they said, IKEA will not work in India. Sorry, it's not going to work. Why? We don't like putting things together. So in India, all of things for IKEA are put together in the store and sent on a solar-powered rickshaw. It's gospel truth. They listen to their people, and now that's the first one in India, and that's how it happens. Again, an original answer to a provocative question, and it sounds really rude to say, but these employees from that place came back and reported that that's not going to happen in India. How do I ask a what-if question to create a unique point of view? This is an original answer to a provocative question. I doubted that. In fact, I said no to that. I used the results from Bing and Google and said, I don't think IKEA has changed the world at all. Does anybody disagree with me? Okay, how? Prove it.
It's got like cheap furniture that you can flat pack and put together in seconds and just live inside a house.
Yes. Yeah.
Where's that number 4?
Yeah, and you're not going to believe it, but guess what? You can do that anywhere in the world, and you can you can put like tents together, and they have this one problem that they've really helped called the refugee problem. I had no idea. It really upset me that I was so naive to think that they're not changing the world by partnering with the UN. Of course IKEA is partnering with the UN. Of course they have like the easiest, bettershelter.org, you can check it out, but they're good at like designing things that are easy to put up. This is the easiest to put up, and it's the easiest to take down. Refugees are having home businesses where they're putting together craft things. It will stay cool when it needs to be cool. It'll stay hot when it needs to be hot. And home businesses are popping up in these refugee tents. I was mistaken. IKEA can change the world. And you know what? I actually went deeper. After Jason Miller's talk about AI in Montenegro, I wanted to see if there were some uses, because he played a lot of like really brilliant examples that made people think. I wanted to see if AI could change the world. So I did my research and I thought, the big smoke. Can AI change the big smoke? In my research, I found out a lot of people are focusing on the problem. That is I believe in London, that is a poster that was created by pollution. So that's the problem. What about the solution? This is what made me do. This is a firecracker question and a very original answer to it. The Alan Turing Institute right now are studying air pollution in London, and they have AI-powered 1,200 AI-powered sensors, and they're gathering data, and it's mind-blowing. They're coming up with these, and it's a warning here. It's a new word for you. New word alert. Street canyon. What is a street canyon? You got to be quick. Does anybody know what a street canyon is? Is anybody epileptic? Sorry. A street canyon is a place where the street is flanked by buildings on both sides, creating a canyon-like environment. I would venture to say New York has a lot of canyons. London has some. This is the most highly polluted parts of London are street canyons. I don't think you work in a street canyon. You're cool. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, don't you think there are street canyons that have massive pollution problems in the big smoke? I would say yes. Thanks to 100 sensors, AI is sorting out an answer for that. And they're going to the problem areas and solving problems. I love that. A, I love new words. And B, I love problems, original answers to provocative statements. Yes, I got crazy. Because my mind went, right after I saw Miller, I went and did the zip line across the second largest canyon in the world. And I'm thinking, street canyon. I can zip line across London, and that's not the right use of the word. So, how do I use fun and games to inspire loyalty? Does anybody have any clue on how we do this? Well, I am sick of talking about big brands, so I am going to sit down, take a break, and say, is anyone addicted to coffee?
Yes.
Thank you. Indeed, Italians. Anyone else who's not Italian? Because I've picked on you too much. Is anybody turned in a loyalty card and gotten a free coffee in the last month? Okay, sir. What did you just turned in the card and got a free coffee? Is that it? Yep. Nothing surprising. Just you were happy, they're happy, you're loyal. Well, that's not good enough for me. I got so excited, I got my boy, I was holding on to my loyalty card, I was almost shaking. I was like, oh my God, we can do the wheel, we can spin the wheel. And he was like, because he's 8 and he's cool, he's like, calm down, it's just a free coffee. And I'm like, no, we're gonna spin the wheel, it could be something else. Watch this. I freaking love that my local coffee shop in Ealing says, John, you can give up your coffee and get absolutely nothing, tap water on us. Or, and that's why I thought the like emotional plea, I'll get my boy in there, and even if he gets tap water, they'll let him spin again. And that's exactly what happened. It was brilliant. Here we go. Come on, Toby. You got to look back and you spin and give it a really good spin. Is this exploitation? No, you have to look back. You have to look back. Okay, go. Big spin. Yes! 3 free coffees. Like, you could tell I was happy, and he was just like, can we get on? Something so mundane has just been turned playful, and I keep going back. I've got like 2 loyalty cards. I'm just waiting for him to go back with me. Again, that's playful. I really genuinely think play is important, and it's my modus operandi for sure. How do I pack an unexpected punch at regular intervals? This is the Hollywood thing, and again, I said no to this. I don't think IKEA are doing anything clever. Especially nothing in popular culture that I care about. How many Game of Thrones fans do we have? Admit it. Some squirrels, a couple of owls. Okay. Game of Thrones shot. To win the Fast Forward Files book, I need the first person to tell me how the hell this relates to IKEA. Oh my God, Ian! Ian, can you come in front of the camera just so we know it's you? Because no one's gonna be able to see you. Sorry, guys. This is my man Ian. He's like behind the camera.
He's wearing an IKEA rug.
Oh, you're kidding? Are you serious?
Yeah. He's
okay.
wearing an IKEA rug.
That is absolutely freakingly correct. Let me explain to you. That is amazing. I cannot believe this. Can I explain to you how and why this is surprising? Okay, listen. The producer ballsed it up. She basically said, we forgot to order an expensive fur coat, and she went to IKEA. She bought 4 rugs, cut holes out of them, and made a fur coat. And then IKEA found out about it and said, that is offensive to our fur rug, and we love it. So they did the really crappy Swedish design instructions, and everyone loved it. It was like, this is a proper firecracker answer. It's playful, it's surprising, it's original, it's a provocative, and that's Ian, ladies and gentlemen. I love that. I can't, so many people just think I'm weird, and that is like my favorite example. So thank you, Ian, that could have gone horribly wrong for me. Thank you, Ian. Okay, so again, I see these things all the time. Like, I know this is rude, so I'll cover that up. So listen. There was an awards show. I'm sorry, Jason, this is being filmed. I didn't even think of this. There is an awards show that Rihanna wears dresses to. It's one of those famous American ones. And she wore she wore this dress. And Peter, does anybody know Family Guy? So Family Guy, believe it or not, was wearing the same dress. How embarrassing is it when you're at a party and someone's wearing the same dress? Well, Peter wore the same dress 1 hour later because he's animated, it's not real. But how incredible as a real-time newsjack was that? Like proper Jason, seriously. And I love that stuff. I collect them. And this is the thing that people are like, people are like, wow, that's something we can do now. But Jon, what about other wow factors? That literally took some production. Someone would have to make that wheel, and it'd probably take like 3 or 4 days to come after you produced it. These are like, how the hell are we going to design a refugee tent or pay millions for TaskRabbit? I loved going in my workshops across all these ideas and like filling this up, loads and loads of now. Newsjacking is all about now, but having some wow and having some how. That just, it gets me excited. Again, just to recap, I would love for someone in the next, because big company's slow, in the next 2 months, I want one session, a squirrel session and an owl session, where you think of provocative questions that are going to make the powers that be, that might actually have an office on the upper floor, make them nervous. What questions add tension to internal culture, customers, people first kind of stuff. Let's nail the provocation. Then let's come up with a what if kind of brainstorm, some originality, and then, because Jason is a playful, fun guy, let's do some play and let's do some surprise and see what you come up with. I do this all the time, and it really appeals to the creative and curious folks. And then my thing, when people ask me to do a proper workshop, is I have to combine all the other skills, because there are people that are more owl, and they have more emotional intelligence than I do, and a lot more leadership ability than I do. And this combination, this is literally what people in 2019 hire for, and that's why I go crazy on these, and then in a longer session, I do soft skilly kind of stuff on that. But I really genuinely, and you may not believe me totally, but I genuinely think that curiosity and creativity are good for business in 2019 to stand out. And now everyone get a ball. We're closing this place down. I'm gonna pop another beer. Have another beer on me. Everyone needs to have a ball. I'm gonna kick them at people. Because I have to admit to you, this is hard. You may have a session with or without Jason, more balls. You can have 2. You're allowed 2. Back row people have 2 because then they'll hurt me less. And there's more here. I have been doing these sessions for a couple of years, and I have found some brands, would you like another one? Okay. I found some brands just really suck at going through the whole provocation, originality, playfulness, and surprise, and they go too far, and they still exist. They still exist. I want us to play a little game. I'm going to present to you like a judge and jury situation, some of the biggest, most provocative moves by the biggest brands in the world. And I want you to vote with your balls, throwing them as hard as you can at me when the time comes to close this off, and then we'll break the place down. I want you to think, A, what is the biggest balls up that that brand will never, ever recover from? The biggest balls up. Are you ready? Tomatoes are red, mostly. Heinz got a great idea saying, dinosaurs, cartoon dinosaurs are radioactive green. What if we make ketchup radioactive green? That didn't go down well at all. People, believe it or not, like ketchup to be the color ketchup has always been. Are you surprised by that? Maybe not. Hold your balls. I'm sometimes considered a little bit of a macho kind of guy. I'm on my Harley. I've had a rough day of kind of doing I think they're called switchbacks. They're like roads that go like this. I settle down at home, crack a beer, and I'm like, what is that smell? And my wife is like, that smell is you. So I slip into something comfortable, and I splash on just a little bit of Hot Road aftershave. Do you want to smell like the hot road? And I'm picking on my Italian friend because it's hot in Sicily. Do you want to smell like the hot road?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are a freaking team. So, last choice. There is a brand with a CEO. This is how it went. Guys, we need a focus group on this. People are going to stop brushing their teeth, and we're screwed. If people stop brushing their teeth, our brand doesn't exist. We need to diversify into hot frozen Italian delicacies. You invented lasagna. Stop freaking ruining it. So ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I give you, vote with your balls, the biggest balls up, the biggest brand that was not actually answering the firecracker. They were not being provocative, original, playful, or surprising. Throw the balls as hard as you can if you think the ketchup, the green ketchup, is the biggest balls up. Okay. I won't open my eyes. Am I standing in front of the right one? Yes. Okay. If you think that, John, only you can relate to this, you macho man, but your wife doesn't want to smell your asphalt, doesn't want you to even smell like asphalt. It's an American thing for pavement. If you think this is the biggest balls up, an absolute firecracker no-no, throw as hard as you can. Oh! 3. Okay, Jason, do you mind keeping score? Of course. 0, 3. Okay. If my lovely Italian friend, remind me of your name?
Monica.
Monica, do you mind coming up here and just holding the prize? Just hold it kind of more down that way. Perfect.
Is that
Perfect.
so I can throw it on you?
Exactly. If you think Colgate should stay in their lane and get the frick out of the frozen dinners, oh! Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. No one hit Monica. Thank God. Are you okay?
They tried, but...
Okay. Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, brilliant. No. I think you should have it. I think you should have it.
I really should.
Here. Come over here.
I was kind of like... That's the only reason why I did that.
Sorry, Jason. We're waiting for a photo.
Oh, sorry, I was Instagramming that.
Oh, okay. Oh, Nina's got it. I got it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. To summarize, please go see that. No, I keep talking about this. Please just go visit the Museum of Failure. Microsoft is in it. No. They are. Oh, sorry. Wait. Storytelling, end on a high. Well done. No, 200 brands are in it. So, you're a big brand. How could you not be in it? 200 brands are in it. You need to go see it. It's in Sweden, where all weird things are, and it is amazing. It has a road show as well. Here we go. I want to again say, I've got 3 concluding points, but I want to say the emotion, it's going to come up again and again, but the one that you need to put in your content, I'll say it, I'll save it for the end. But if you can only take 3 points away, can you be relentlessly helpful for your customers? Jason, you made the mistake of telling me about the people first thing, but I actually genuinely think that as a brand, you're going to have to be relentlessly helpful if you're going to bring that to life, and I love that as a platform. And one quick story, Jason and I were at a conference last year in Bournemouth, and this guy, his strapline is, "I'm the relentlessly helpful copywriter." And he just goes out of his way to help as many people. And I've tried to be like this guy, John. He's a big teddy bear as well. Also, he has a shirt with a cartoon character of himself. So I like that. How can you be more helpful? I've found one way, only one way, and I try to do lots of ways. But one way is I go to charity shops. I went to a charity shop. I found a Tesco shirt that they wear in Tesco. I'm wearing it right now. And I just go to Tesco and see if anybody asks me anything. Just whether I can help stack shelves, whether they need some Colgate freaking frozen dinner lasagna. Be more helpful, be more Tesco. Every little helps. Wear the shirt if you're not an idiot. Make room for luck. Oh my God. How many times did freaking captain of, who's the captain, Nick, again, of Curiosity? I can't remember his name. Da Vinci. He made Room for Luck, as did this guy, Wilson Cumberbatch, except the last name's not Cumberbatch, Wilson something. He was dicking around with like transistors, and guess what he invented? The pacemaker. Total accident, 100% accident. I actually think there are people in this company that have probably created something on accident that has become a big thing because they were messing around. I would love for you guys to somehow be the champions with your curiosity sessions of messing around. And also be a kid, have some fun, and here we go. Our final interlude before we pack this place down. This is my son sleeping, he may be immortal. Surround yourself with creative people. Get up and in the grill of everything that makes you a better person. Also, look at the world differently. Just like we talked about meat raisins being beef jerky, I'll never look at that fruit again without thinking, wow, like a certain soundtrack, 70s soundtrack goes in my brain when I see raspberries. Make them great Lego afros. Have some fun and use Lego to solve business problems. That's one of my workshops. But I need one volunteer, and one volunteer only, before we literally kick the place down, literally kick it down. Someone needs to face their fear of coming up next to me, and we're voting with our balls on who can scare themselves the most, who can do this dance with me better than me. Nina, I would love it. It would mean a lot to me. God, it would mean a lot to me. Mostly because she was messing with technology, wasn't even listening. Jason is Nina. Nina's your boss. Oh, no. You want it to be... who did you say your boss is? Oh, this is great. I can't believe it. Oh, all right. She was like, all right, I'll take you down. Okay. Everyone, my front row Wimbledon people, ball boys and ball girls, can you guys make sure everyone has a ball? Because you're voting on the person who sucks. So it's basically throw balls at the loser, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Throw balls at the loser? Okay. What's your name? What's your name again? Upasna. Yes. Okay, Upasna. So, do you want to go first or last?
Are we not doing it together?
Let's do it together. I love that. Yeah. Such good. Okay, I think we should be closer together. Are you stretched? Okay. I literally, because I'm a professional speaker, I just noticed we had a monitor there. So we can watch that monitor so you don't have to look back.
Yeah, thank you.
We look better for the camera. Okay. Can we do a clap? Clap, 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 clap. Okay, you ready? Again, encore, more. You're out of balls. Thank you so much. Absolutely brilliant. I'm sweaty. Thank you for not hurting Jason's leader. Some of this made sense because I nicked it from other people. These are some of the books that I'd like for you to read. Jason's got a great book with a foreword by our friend Dan. This is who I am. Connect with me on a Microsoft-owned property. And I'm sure I'm out of breath, but I have a beer, and I'd love questions either on a public forum or privately that start with WTF. Thank you. I don't know why I bow. I'm not an actor.